Assalamualaikum and good day Dr. Atikah and everyone. So my name is Muhammad Zuhair Afham Nasir. My metric number is P153944 from class Mathematical Statistics, Executive, Faculty of Science and Technology, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. And today I would like to presenting my case study, which is titled Analyzing Titanic Passenger Survival using R programming. So let's start it. So for the first part, which is introductions, I will explain about the Titanic. So for the Titanic disaster, which is well known and overwide by the films called Titanic, is the real world is the real story that occurred on 15 April 1912, remains as one of the history's most tragic maritime events, with over 1,500 lives lost when the ship struck the iceberg and then the ship sank. So this Titanic dataset is widely used in statistics and also data science, which contains some of the information about passengers' survival status, ticket class, gender, age by the passengers, fare, family relationships, and also the embarkation port. So next we move to the objective. So the study is about, we aim to use some of statistical analysis and also data visualizations in R to explore some of the key factors that influence and give some impact to the passenger survival, and also build a predictive model using logistic regressions. So our objective for this study is to determine whether women and children had a significantly higher survival rate compared to the adult males. And then number 2 is to investigate if first class passengers had a higher likelihood of survival compared to the second and the third class passengers. And then number 3 is to evaluate the impact of each on survival probabilities. So we go to the methodologies. So for this research, we use the train datasets, which is train.csv that I get from the Kaggle datasets, which is the data contains 891 passenger records with known survival outcomes. So our methodology follows by these steps, which is number 1 is we perform the data cleansing and pre-processing by handling the missing values or missing error, and then converted the categorical variables like sex, passenger class, and also the embarked into the factor for our analysis, and also we normalize the variables to easy comparison between the variables. And then we perform exploratory data analysis, which is EDA, by using the ggplots tool to visualize some of the survival trends across the gender, passenger class, and also age. And then we conduct the hypothesis testings by using the chi-square test to check whether passenger class have significantly influence or impact to the survival. And last is we build a logistics regression models to predict some of the survival probabilities based on the key factors like passenger class, gender, age, fare, and also embarkation port. Okay, next we move to the result and discussions. For the first part, which is exploratory data analysis, we discover that there are two figures, which is figure 1 is survival rate by the gender, and then figure 2 is survival rate by passenger class. So based on our EDA findings, highlight that the important survival trends, which is figure 1 shows that the woman had a much higher survival rate than a man, because it may be influenced by the protocol, or I think social norms, which is women and children first, that prioritize the safety of women and children during the disaster. And then for the figure 2, it shows, or it reveals that the first class passenger had a highest survival rate, and then followed by the second class, while the third class passenger had a lowest survival rates compared to the others. And then this highlight that the socio and economic inequalities that exist at the same time, and it plays a major role in a survival change, and it can cause the impact on the outcomes of the disaster. Okay, and then for the figure 3, it is the age distribution of the survivors versus non-survivors. So the figure 3, it revealed that the younger passengers had a higher survival rate compared to the older individuals. It is reflecting both of the evacuations protocols and maybe some of potential physical advantage during the emergency situation like disaster. Okay, next part is hypothesis testing. So for this test, we perform a chi-square test for independent test to check whether the passenger class have significantly or impactfully influence the survival or not. So we set that the H null, which is null hypothesis, is equal to the survival is independent of passenger class, and then the H1 or alternative hypothesis, we set the survival is dependent on the passengers. And then after we do some of the analysis using R, our results shows that the p-value, which is equals to 2.2 e negative 16, which is less than the 0.01, and it's allow us to reject H null. So this confirm that the passenger class had a strong influence on the survival rates, because we can say that it is enough evidence to reject H null and significantly influence the survival rate. And then we move to the logistic models. Okay, as you can see here, so to quantify the impact of the key variables or the independent variables, we built a logistic regression models with survival as the dependent variables and others like passenger class, gender, age, fare, and embarkation port as independent variables. So the models identify that the passenger class, which is third class passenger, had much lower chance of survival compared to the first class passengers. And then the gender, which is male mostly, had significantly lower odds of survival than the females. And then age, which is older passenger, had lower survival probabilities compared to the youngest. We can see the result from the summary of the logistic regression model. So interestingly, the fare variables was not statistically significant because the ticket price alone did not determine survival, but it shows the class distinction between others. Okay, next is the conclusions. So the last part is conclusion. We can say that in the summary, our analysis confirmed that the women and also the first class passengers had the highest survival rates because it's due to the women and children first, and also advantages of the wealth, which is first class seat. And also the older passenger had lower survival chances to survive. It is because of likely due to the physical limitations compared to the youngsters during the disasters. So and then the chi-square test confirmed that the passenger class had a significantly impact on survival, while the logistic regression models identify gender, class, and also age are the strongest predictors of survival probabilities. So we can say that by applying statistical analysis in R, we gain some of valuable insights how to demonstrate the factors influence survival in the Titanic disaster. So this study can give some of importance of the data and get some of the understanding based on the historical events. So that's all from me. I hope that this study provides some of valuable insights into the statistical analysis by using R. So thank you for your times, and that's all. Thank you. Bye bye.